Hello lovely beings, here is another video in the Wild Spirit Revamp series, which I've decided to rename as the Wild Spirit Tarot as it should have been, because I saw that Dexy's Midnight Runners, does anybody remember them? Am I showing my age really badly? Perhaps you know them in a kind of ironic retro sense rather than you were there at the time when they were. But they were quite a big band in the early 80s, and they have re-recorded their sort of seminal album, which I think was called Touraye or something of that ilk, and they have recorded it again as it should have been. And I thought, that's a very curious concept, why would you want to do that? But then I realised that's really what I'm doing here. This is the Wild Spirit Tarot as it should have been. So we can still call it the Revamp, or we can call it as it should have been. Either way, I just thought I'd share that with you and waste a whole minute, probably, while I did so. So what have we before us today, my dear friends? And before I carry on, thank you for commenting on my last video. It was just absolutely lovely to see those remarks again. And I promise you that I read every single one of them, and even if I can't respond personally, I really value them and they mean a lot to me and help me too. And I hope that it's good for you to be able to share with each other again, and the comments will be staying put on that basis. Anyway, let's move on. What am I doing here? I am revamping this card. Let us go closer, from the original Wild Spirit deck. Perhaps I shouldn't put it there because it's a bit overwhelming. I'll just hold it up here. It was called Natural Force Wild Power, and I shall come into why I'm going to be changing the names again in a minute too. So this was a strength card, and as you can see, it's not what I am able to do today. Now, one of the reasons that you know that I'm doing these cards again is because of the borders, and far too much space being taken up with a border and another border around the border, and also because the artwork is not consistent all the way through the deck, and because it is not of the standard that I could do today, which is as it should be, because it was done quite a long time ago, and so things should have progressed, and so I think I can do it much better justice. And as we know also, this deck is out of print. I have very few original decks, sealed decks remaining in my possession. But besides that, you'd have to buy a used one, and yes, there's no chance of this ever being reprinted as it stands again. So we have to do a new version. That's why I've done this, and I am, if I say so myself, very pleased with it, because I am putting everything I've got into these, because after I did my last video, I really felt the importance of this quite strongly, that I'm not just doing this for me as some sort of vanity project. I'm doing it because I know you would like to see it, and that it brings you pleasure too. And even if there's only 10 of us or 5 of us or 2 of us, or even just one other person that feels that way about it, I am going to do this to the best of my ability and make it as beautiful as I possibly can, because the aim of this deck, unlike the my Everyday Enchantment Tarot, which had a completely different ethos, even though I wanted it to look lovely, the impetus of this one is beauty, is for it to look as glorious as I can possibly make it, and as magical and inspiring as I can possibly make it. So now I shall come back out, and you can see this one in the middle here. I'm going to point with my glovey finger on my, yes, to try and cover up the gnarly bits. I'm not even going to use my most gnarly finger because I still see it through the glove. This middle one is the original. I shall go closer again so you can see. There is the new face of strength, or as it's going to be called now, strong spirit, but I shall come back to that in a bit. The horse, the rocky stream that the horse has leapt over, and I've decided to put the scrolls in with the artwork itself. It makes it easier then for me to work around rather than trying to drop the scroll into the finished artwork, which causes a lot of problems, and sitting at the computer unnecessarily, where it's better for me to actually just include it and integrate it into the piece itself and then drop the name in afterwards. Hope that made sense. Perhaps you didn't want to know that, but I do tend to over-egg the vegan pudding, don't I, with some non-egg type material, as I've said before. Anyway, yes. So here we are, and to the right, I'm going to come back out so you can hopefully see it. It's too big. I mean, it's way too big. This card I think is a little bit too small, the original card, but that's obviously way too big, but it still gives you more of an idea of what it will look like when it's done. Although from the original, now let's go through this once again. When I film something, when I record something on my camera, it bleaches out some of the original colour of the artwork, which is incredibly vibrant. And then somehow, between my recording of it and it going onto YouTube, it loses even more colour. So you are going to lose a lot of the vibrancy of this. And then when I print it out, it loses even more of the vibrancy because my printer is not the best. However, it's what I've got, and I can at least show you what it would look like. And here is a larger version. Come out so you can see it all. There's a larger version here. I can just compare it to the, so that's the printed version. And let's go to the name, seeing as we're up here. So card number 8, which is Strength, Strong Spirit. So I have decided that the Wild Spirit Tarot will all have names relating to spirit at the top, which will mean some changing around. It will also have more of a nod to the actual tarot name, i.e. this is Strength. So it will give you more of a cue and not be completely obscure. I'm not going to lose the whole sort of whimsical, magical element to this, but I would like it to have more of a consistency, continuity, be through. I'm from the year 1326. I'd like to have it, to have more, yes, continuity throughout the deck, so that there'll be a wild something at the bottom and a strong and a spirit something at the top, as much as I can possibly. So this one is wild energy. It used to be natural force. Oh, do focus, dear. There we are. Natural force, wild power. Now it's strong spirit, wild energy. The next two cards I'm going to be working on, I've already started on this one, is the Emperor, who was Lord of the Wild, strong spirit. And now obviously he can't be that in this deck, so he's going to be something of the ilk of Protector Spirit, Wild Man. Wait till you see him, by the way, he's quite something. Yeah, I'm really enjoying doing these, and I'm really enjoying doing them because it's not just for me, it's for you. So it gives me great joy to do that and share with you. And the one after that will be the Hanged Man card, which is currently Silence, Visionary Spirit, and that will be something like Still Spirit. I don't know, you can't really have a wild silence, can you? So I don't know what the bottom bit is, but anyway, it will probably be Still Spirit. We shall see. Anyway, so we're talking about this one just now, aren't we? And I'm trying to show you the artwork. I can't believe that I seem to have been wittering for a great deal of time, and I've only used up 9 minutes. There you go. That's unusual, isn't it? This might be a shorter video than usual, but then I'd like to be able to give you a really good insight into this. I'm going to try and put it on Twitter. I'm not really keen on doing that, but it's the only way I can show you an actual piece of finished artwork on there. You don't have to be a member of Twitter. You can just look up my @Palin Poppy account and it will be on there somewhere, I hope. It won't be there yet though, so don't look just yet, but yes, so you'll be able to see a better version of it that has not been bleached slightly by this process. I should just do a little. So I have included, whoops, a stretch over here. I've included the elements that were in the card. I'm trying to adhere to the original structure as much as I can but sometimes it will be necessary for me to divert totally. But at the moment I'm trying to keep the structure. So obviously we have woman, although now she is wearing clothes, which I thought was more appropriate, and we have the horse, and we have the butterfly. In this case we have Red Admiral type butterfly, native to Britain, and we have the sun, which was suggested in the corner but got cut off because of all the borderings. Now in this one I have truly factored in, if we go up to the top here and you take off about ½ centimetre or so, you're not going to lose anything much, and the same around the edges. I have really made sure that's the case. Now at the bottom you're going to lose some of the horse's hoof, but that doesn't really matter terribly much, but you're not going to get the butterfly cut off. So, and around the edge you might just lose a bit of the horse's leg there, but not anything significant is going to go missing. So I have really made sure that I don't have to do this one again, because I'm going to have to do the other ones again that I've started because of this issue, but I have to make sure that the ones that follow will not have that problem. I really enjoyed doing this because of the colours, which you're going to lose. The beautiful kind of, I'm not really a sunrise type person, but this is a kind of, you know, the morning sky breaking through the dark clouds, and it could be twilight, but I think, if I recall, the story of this woman who is in the book, which I will be including in a very edited form in the accompanying book to this, I'm sure that she was riding out in the morning or through the night as the light was coming. I'm sure that was the case. I should have checked that, but I didn't, because it's packed. My book is packed somewhere and there are lots of things on top of it. So forgive me, I will try and wrestle that out for next time so that we can actually refer to that as well. There we go. Oh, by the way, if you ever did want to buy one of the very few sealed decks that I have left, they come with the second edition book, which is one that I redid, because the first edition books I did not get copies of. I only got copies from Llewellyn of the sealed decks, and they have nearly all gone. If you are interested, just leave me your email in the comments section. As you know, I won't be able to engage in a big email with anybody because I can't type and I can't sit at a computer, blah blah blah. If you're new to this and this is the first video that you've seen, then it's pain issues. I can't do that. I don't want to harp on about it because I don't want to just be this kind of whining pile of ailments, but I cannot enter into emails with people in the same way as I can't respond to all the comments. So if you're interested, just let me know anyway. What was I saying? Right, I suppose I'm just giving you a little bit of a closer look over all of this. I did enjoy very much doing the mossy rocks and the water and the gorse and the mossy rocks down here. All the colours, there was lots of contrasting colours. There's all the earthy and then the watery, and then it's got all the elements really. Then it's got the wind in the mane and the hair, and then it's got the fire. It's I guess it's got all the elements in there, and yeah. Oh, I've ground to a halt. Shall I? I'll just what was I going to say next? Right, I'll just, because I can't think of anything, I'll just hold it there for a moment. I was sent by somebody that I've never met, but who is becoming a lovely sort of friend, because she's amazing. I won't mention her name. She sends me things and she writes me fantastically informative letters, and she doesn't expect me to reply because I can't. She's just a very generous soul. I'm very grateful to her. She'll never see this because she doesn't own a computer. She writes all her letters by hand and she sends me things. Anyway, she sent me this. It's a partial tarot deck. Don't know who it's by, and I don't want to. I'm not. It's got a pentacle on the back of it. I don't know who it's by, but I'm showing you this because I wanted to sort of compare it to how I don't want this to be. Not that there's anything wrong with this deck, and I don't know what it is, but it's got the border and it's got another border which is losing some of the image, and it's also very shiny. And I think that am I right in assuming that most of you don't want very look, you can see the sky reflected in it. It's that shiny. Are you not wanting things to be that shiny? If I compare it in size, there's my original card, Common with the Wild Spirit, and there's that one. So I think this one is about the right sort of size. This is too small, I think, and obviously that is too big.